What's happening, family? Listen, I just dropped a video discussing the narcissist soft discard. So if you guys haven't seen that video yet, I encourage you to go watch that. That video had so many little small diamonds of information in it that I could have made like 5 separate videos off of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that on some of the main points of that video that I want you guys to see. And one of it being that I know you guys hear that the narcissist works on cycles. And one of the things that I noticed, because I had the unfortunate experience of not understanding what I was dealing with at the beginning, and I basically was groomed and then had a soft discard, and then I was hoovered back into the situation, which was pretty easy because it was such a soft discard, and the love bomb intensified. And then once the love bomb intensified and I came back around for the second serving of abuse, basically, what ended up happening was I started to want more out of life. I started to want a little bit more out of life, but the narcissist was still working on just the cyclical, repetitive like nonsense that they do, basically. Like she was just stuck on her loop, you know what I'm saying? And she first came back around, when she first came around, that was the first time around the loop. And I didn't realize that, okay, this is a loop for her. But what I will say is, once I reached the third time, when we started going through the circle, I started asking a lot of questions. So even when she tried to come back the third time, I'm like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? I'm asking those type of questions now, because I'm like, we've been here twice already. We've been here, you know what I'm saying? Like, you came into my life, you acted like, you know, the perfect girlfriend or the perfect mate or whatever the case may be. And I think I reciprocated that, you know what I'm saying? I think I gave you everything that you wanted, and you didn't show me that you had no complaints or nothing like that. And then all of a sudden you disappeared. And what I wasn't catching at that time, but what I'm catching now is it was all just a cycle for her. So, and what I mean by that is, this is why it doesn't really matter who is in the position. It doesn't matter if it's new supply, old supply, you. It doesn't matter if, it doesn't even matter the circumstances of what happens in your relationship. They're going to follow that cycle regardless. They're going to get involved with you, love bomb, idealize you, and they're going to, in their head, they're probably devaluing you. Now, you might not know it. You might not see that, okay, the hierarchy in the positioning of people in their mind is like, okay, you were this person, but now all of a sudden this person is this person, and then you've dropped down some. You know what I'm saying? So regardless of whether it was a bad breakup or a, you know, regardless of whether, you know, if things ended up on extremely bad terms or not, the narcissist basically is looking just to maintain that control over you. You know what I'm saying? And when I noticed that, like I said, the third time around, I'm asking questions now. I'm asking, like, listen, you saying that you like me like you do. You know what I'm saying? We always have a good time. We always kicking it. We always, you know, enjoying, you know, anytime we're around each other. So it's like, I don't understand what the hold up is, or why we keep going through the same cycle, why we keep going through the same it's like we going through the motions once again. It's like the wheels on the bus go round and round type things. You know what I'm saying? It's like Groundhog Day. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all seen the movie Groundhog Day, when things just, it's the same situation over and over and over. And basically, I can honestly say that from the first situation to the third situation, the only difference is that it was literally, we relived the same relationship over 3 times. It was like Groundhog Day for real. So it was like, the first time we were getting to know each other, but it was the same cycle. We were like getting to know each other. So it was like different things were happening because we were at like different stages of life and all of that kind of stuff. But when I look back on this, like when I look back on everything, it was basically the same relationship over and over and over and over and over again. So she just had the same relationship, but certain things intensified. You know what I'm saying? In the third time around, like the love bomb had intensified, and I think the love bomb was intensifying because she knew that I was eventually going to get to a point where I was going to get tired of this back and forth, and she knew that I wasn't the type of personality that was, you know what I'm saying, I was cool with it while it lasted because she hadn't like crossed me, or she hadn't that I knew of, you know what I'm saying? And I wasn't expecting too much of her at that time because again, we were just at that stage where we were just getting along and kind of kicking it. So I wasn't expecting a whole lot from her, thinking that, you know, she was going to, you know, be my wife or anything at that time. Now, excuse me, as time goes on and I started to actually develop feelings for her the third time around, that's when the abuse actually kicked up. So I don't think that the abuse would have actually kicked in. I believe the abuse was a trigger response to the stresses of life that was happening, because if I believe if she had it in her mind and if things would have worked out the way that she wanted it to, she was stuck on her cycle. We had the child in place, but she would have still tried to go through her cycle again. When that situation didn't work out, she would have tried to come back to me. And I think that having a baby with me was trying to lock me into like that forever supply type of position. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I was just never going for it. You know, like I got involved in the situation because I didn't realize what I was dealing with up front. And I stayed involved in the situation because it took me a while to catch on to the manipulation tactics. Like, they extremely good at what they do, and you got to think she's older than me, so she has me by a year. I think she's like 41, maybe 42 now, and so she's had a lifetime of experience of manipulating men with her looks and sex and, you know, that superficial charm that they have and all of that kind of stuff. She used that pretty much all of her life to seduce men into basically giving her supply, giving her whatever she wants. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, what I think ended up happening was, as the relationship kept progressing on my end of things, I started wanting more and more and more each time. So I'm thinking, you know, like I said, the very first time, I was just on the page of like, all right, we cool, we kicking it, you know what I'm saying, we having a good time, it is what it is. Second time around, now I'm like, all right, what we doing, you know what I'm saying, we cool, we get along and everything, and I'm starting to think about my future now, you know what I'm saying, that kind of thing. And then the third time around, it's like, all right, you know what I'm saying, I'm getting to that age of like, I want to start having kids. I want to lock in on something. I want to, you know what I'm saying, I want to lock into a healthy relationship and live my life out better than the first half of my life. You know what I'm saying? I was in that settle down mode and really trying to just like I felt like I had everything except that in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had the job, I had the cars, I had the home. Even though, you know, everything wasn't perfect, like I'm still struggling to make ends meet sometimes and all of that kind of stuff, just like everybody else. But at the end of the day, it's like I had everything in that situation, you know, my own businesses and all of that kind of stuff. And the only thing that I was looking for was a partner that could kind of complement that. And that kind of left me like open. It left me susceptible to being manipulated into that situation, because it was honestly like she was able to be what I needed her to be in those moments that I needed her to be, because I was extremely busy when she first came around. Like, I had a lot of things going on. I had, my full-time job and this business going on, and then I was starting a nonprofit, and I had a lot of little things. I had a lot of irons in the fire at that time, and she knew that, and she was able to manipulate her situation into squeezing into those gaps where I did have free time, or being able to make herself available even when I was out handling other business. She would, hey, can I ride with you while you go take care of this? And hey, can I, just to spend some time with you? I know you're busy, and I ain't trying to slow you down, but, let me, let me be a part of that. So it kind of gave her a little bit even more of an opening, because I was impressed with the fact that she wanted to be involved, and I always kind of wanted somebody, not necessarily just to like take on my dreams, because I think it's a twofold thing when you're in a relationship. Like, I think that both partners should sow into each other's dreams and that kind of thing. I don't think one person's dreams or desires should be, I don't think that one person's desires in a relationship should completely outweigh the other. Now, sometimes if one thing could maybe be put to the back burner or something like that, not necessarily saying put to the back burner, but if certain things, I feel like certain things have priority, and certain things need to take precedence in a situation. So if you need something that is more urgent than something that I'm asking for, whatever the case may be, then I feel like we should handle that. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's just being responsible and just being balanced in a relationship. Like, take care of the more pressing issues, and then you can come back and kind of work on the other things that y'all got going on. But anyway, like I said, I just wanted to drop this video because it was like, I didn't notice that I was on a complete loop. I was on a cycle, and it was the same. Like I said, it was literally the same exact relationship, and that's how I know that basically the new supply is going through the same loop as well. Now, like I said, what did intensify was the love bomb, and it was like the love bomb was almost in desperation mode, and a lot of, like I mentioned in a few other videos, that I told one of my best friends, I'm like, even in the love bomb, like, okay, the sex was great and everything, but I still felt off because it was too much. It was like, I have never met somebody that wanted it all the time and would just like sneak over in the middle of the night, and you know what I'm saying? It was literally like that nymphomaniac status. And me, you know what I'm saying, I'm getting older now. I'm like, man, I'm damn near, like, I was 36, 37 at that time. So now I'm like, man, listen, I'm getting old. I can't stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning like I was 18 no more. You know what I'm saying? Then I got to get up for work the next morning. Like, and that's also abuse. That's sleep deprivation. Like, I know a lot of y'all don't understand that, but they're keeping y'all up with the love bomb, and now you missing work, and now you got all types of other little things falling apart in your life because you staying up all night trying to entertain this person. You know what I'm saying? That ain't got nothing else going on in their life except chasing supply. Like, they're hopping out of your bed at night, and then while you go to work, they at the other person's house doing the day type stuff. And you know what I'm saying? And telling you that they got a job. Now, I know for sure that happened in my situation because she played like she had a job for so long, and then all of a sudden she left her job, and she didn't tell me about it for months. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking every day she's still going to that job on a daily. Now, whatever happened, because they can't keep no job, no relationship, no nothing going on. So whatever happened, she left that job, and once she left that job, I didn't know nothing about it for months. And then one day she brought it up because she had to. It was like one of those things where somebody else had mentioned it or something like that, and I caught wind of it, and it was like, okay, she had to kind of present it. And once she presented it, I'm like, oh yeah. So, you know, for all of these months when I wasn't hearing from you during the day and all of this kind of stuff, now I'm starting to put the pieces of the puzzle together. You know what I'm saying? I ain't say nothing at that point, but I'm just seeing the play. I'm like, okay, she playing games. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not understanding why a 40-year-old woman that didn't have no reason to play the games, because I'm like, you could have just kept it gangster. Like, you could have, like, if, you know, like I said, I was at that point in life where I was like, if I find a wife and all of that kind of stuff, cool. If I don't, then at this stage of the game, I'm getting older. You know, I would like to at least have some children. So I was even entertaining the idea of possibly having children and all of that kind of stuff. Like I said, she didn't have to do things the way that she did to get the outcome that she wanted. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the narcissist is like, you know, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys can attest that it was the disrespect, it was the betrayal. It was like, because if somebody was just honest and came to you and said, hey, look, this is what it is, a lot of us probably would have just, you know, not saying that that's a good thing, but because we were, you know, broken and we were so used to toxicity, we probably would have allowed some of the game playing if it wasn't all the disrespect in it. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't all of the betrayal in it. Like, if she would have just came to me and just said, hey, listen, you know, I like you, you know what I'm saying? I'm really feeling you, whatever the case may be, but, you know, I just never been good at relationships, and I don't see me being locked down to no particular relationship, whatever the case may be. Then we could have still maintained at least the friendship part of what we had. And whatever would have happened after that would have been my choice, you know what I'm saying? But basically she, you know, and that's what they do. They rob us of our choices, you know what I'm saying? They be trying to stay in control of everything. They rob us of making sound choices in our own life. And then we're left to pick up the pieces, because once they do what they do, they skate on and they go on to the next person, and now you sitting here with, you know, a pile of dust. Like, what the hell just happened? You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to drop this video because I was thinking about the last video that I did and talking about just the cycles that they go through. And we hear about the cycles all of the time, but I think if y'all go back to that previous video, and if you know, go back to the beginning part of this video, they just keep cycling through the same relationship, the same things over and over and over, even probably going to the same places sometimes, saying the same stuff to people all of the time. Like, they probably copying and pasting text messages and things like that. Like, the only thing that changes is you know what I'm saying, the person. And so you might have different variables of different things that possibly have happened, but it's still pretty much you're on the same loop. And what I noticed is the narcissist that I was dealing with, she had about 1.5 to a 2-year loop. So I'm hoping that, like I said, I'm dropping this video because I'm hoping that you guys catch these little red flags, because if I would have caught it the first time I was on that loop, or even the second time that I was on that loop, then I could have saved myself a lot of heartache and pain and stress and just a lot of torment from understanding who this person really was and actually getting to the level of betrayal and the disrespect and all of that we got to towards the end of the relationship, because I would have caught the play earlier. I would have saw it coming, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just dropping this video just hoping that you guys see the cycle, you know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys can attest. You probably had an on-again, off-again relationship with the narcissist. It probably wasn't a smooth flow. If it was, you know, y'all get in the comment box and let me know if it was a smooth, you know, 10, 15, 20 years, or was it chopped up? You know what I'm saying? Mine was chopped up. Mine was chopped up into like 2 year. It was like 2, and then she was out, No problems, no arguments, no nothing. That's what I mean about the soft discard. She didn't leave and say, "Oh, I have a problem with anything that you do or any of that kind of stuff." It was like, "Oh my God, I love you so much," this, that, and the third, and then she would just disappear. And she'd be gone for a year or two, or whatever the case may be. Every once in a while, she may pop in and text, "Hey, how you doing? What's up?" You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing, I guess, just the, breadcrumbing, keeping me on the hook. But outside of that, she would be gone for a year, two, and she would not come back until she needed a fill up. She would get her little refill. That's why it's like songs like that now, when I hear like the refill song, it's like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Because it sounds so sick now, knowing about narcissism, you know what I'm saying? But that's just one of the things that I noticed in the situation. It's like these people, it doesn't, that's why we can't take these things personally. It's like you can't take a person that's stuck on a loop and what they do to you personally. That's one of the things that helped me to kind of, I ain't gonna say get over it, because I'm still not fully over everything that happened, and I don't think I will ever be fully over, or at least I think, with God and my faith in God, I think God can restore me to a place of wholeness again, yes. But I don't think I will ever forget this experience, and I don't think that I will ever be the same after this experience, and I think that's part of the point of this. But yeah, so it doesn't matter who you are, what's going on, and that's why the new supply is going to get it worse. It's like they're stuck on a cycle, but it's like a spin cycle, and they're getting like a tornado, and they're picking up bullshit and debris from every relationship. They picked up this from this person, and now they got a baby out of this situation, and now they got this person chasing them because they got a car that they financed for them in this situation, and you know what I'm saying? It's like a whole whirlwind full of bullshit, and they just spinning a bunch of different plates trying to figure out what's going to pay the biggest outcome. You know what I'm saying? And they end up spinning those plates until all of them fall down. Then when they all fall down and they go into that mortification and they go ducking off and hiding, and now you don't see them for 2-3 years, or whatever the case may be, or some of them even move away, move out of the country, or whatever the case may be. And that's what I was always kind of scared of in my situation, because my narcissist is not from this country. And, she has mentioned moving away and moving back to their home country. So, like I said, I just wanted to drop this video real quick. I know that a lot of you guys hear about the cycles, but if y'all go back to my previous video, and like I said, I'm hoping I explained this pretty good in this video, is that it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter even what happened in your relationship. They are just stuck on a loop. And it's like at the beginning of that loop, things are great. Things are going good. The sex is good. The attention and all of that kind of stuff is good. And then all of a sudden, things just start going downhill. And you know what I'm saying? Once they go downhill, and they get to that point of the cycle where it's like, okay, they have to make a move. When they make a move, a lot of times I think that they would like to make a move and still be in a position to come back. So that's why I feel like I said, the very first 2 times, it wasn't all the disrespect and all of the, name calling and all of that kind of stuff. I think the 3rd time around, the pressure was on, because she knew that if she disappeared and tried to come back again without locking me into anything, that I was just done this time. Because like I said, I wasn't the one that I think she knew that I wasn't going to stay stuck on the loop. She had me the first time because I didn't know what was going on. Plus I wasn't expecting nothing of her. The second time around, I'm like, okay, what's going on? But I'm still not expecting a whole lot out of life. I'm like I'm really focused in my career and my businesses and things like that at that point in my life. So it's like, if I find love, cool. But if I don't, I ain't really chasing it. So because I wasn't really chasing it like that, it's like cool. She still had the freedom to kind of just live her life, do what she wanted to do, and I wasn't expecting nothing of her. And even the third time around, it was like I'm expecting a little more of her because I feel like now we've been through this cycle twice. I feel like we've always been good friends up to this point, or at least on my end, I was always a good friend to her. So I'm feeling like because I was a good friend to you, and we've always been cool. We ain't never had no bumps. You know what I'm saying? We ain't never had no scrapes or nothing like that we had to get over. It's like, we good. Why even add the disrespect into the situation? But like I said, what I think was I started to require too much. You know what I'm saying? Towards the end of the relationship, I started to require too much, and that doesn't necessarily mean that I was needy in the situation. It's like narcissists don't have any emotional capacity to take on regular life responsibility. So it's like you're pregnant, and now I'm expecting you to be a good mother to our child and at least respectful to me. She can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, she don't even have the capacity to do any of that. She literally, it's all about her needs, what she wants, and that's been like my son is 2 years old now, and that's what I've been dealing with this whole time. Hey y'all, my son just woke up. I gotta go get him out the way and put him back to bed. So I'm gonna talk to y'all in a minute, but hey, look out for the cycles. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying in this video. Your narcissist is probably on a loop, and if you pay attention to them, you'll see that loop, and you'll see when they start, cutting people off and cutting people out of their life, or even start to act funny. They may still keep you around, but you'll see them emotionally detached from you for a while, and then maybe the cycle starts over again. But I hope that y'all got some information that y'all can use out of this video, and I will talk to y'all in a minute. Love y'all.